Hey everybody, I'm Joe Maracic, and I am honored to be joined by the great Brian Winum. Uh,
Yes,
there,
yes, yes.
there are a lot of SEO experts out there, but Brian is the expert that the experts go to pick his brain about. He's like a real Jedi master.
Your favorite SEO's favorite SEO. That's what they call me.
Exactly.
At least I like to think they do, but
Well, you're
that's
my
that's
favorite. You're
in
my
my
favorite SEO.
mind. All right. So, happy to be here, talk to you guys, answer any questions you guys have. I wanted to kind of go through, I guess, a little bit of my background. I do have a course that I just launched over the Black Friday weekend, and I guess go into a little background about how it came about, kind of what led to that, talk about some of the strategies. I will drop some nuggets for you guys, and be available for any questions that you guys may have, and we can go from there. All right. Did you have anything that you wanted to add, Joe?
Yeah, I have some questions, but I bug you like every day with questions, so maybe today I'll let other people ask questions for now.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So let me share my screen. We'll get that up so you guys can see that. And we'll start to walk through it. So this is the homepage, the sales page for my course with the Black Friday 50% off sale through Cyber Monday. But it's still up for you guys. We wanted to leave it up just in case anyone was interested in it. But it's the Authority Amplifier Pro system. So this is really kind of my all-in-one framework for building out authority websites. And this has come about over the course of years and just a matter of me just really stacking strategies together that really work holistically, and they work really, really well together to satisfy all the Google requirements that, we need to rank right out of the gate. What led to this was really kind of my, I guess, the way we were using PBNs back in the day, 5 to 10 years, being partners in an agency. We were building out PPN networks to help rank our clients. They were working like gangbusters back then. Back in 2014, 2015, if we were building out, PBN articles with exact match anchor text and just doing it over and over again, it was not a problem. I mean, you were ranking like it was nothing. Things have obviously changed over the years, but we always thought there was a better way to do this. And it really came about from, my business point of view, my partner's business point of view, that we're always in it to build assets, no matter what we're doing. The agency itself is an asset, something that you can, use to make an exit down the road. And there are business processes that we can turn into assets. And that's kind of where we started with this. We had a PBN network that didn't necessarily get the return on investment we wanted, above and beyond what it was being used to do, which is to help rank ourselves, to help rank clients, and everything else. But we always thought there was a better way to do it. So what we came up with back then was, how are we going to build these out to be kind of Swiss Army knives that we can use for more than just being a backlink machine? How are we going to take it to the next level? So each one of these sites individually or the entire network can be a valuable, valuable business asset that can be spun off down the road, if necessary, for a nice chunk of change. So what we ended up doing was kind of, stumbling into the Google News approval game. And when I first started this, there really wasn't anyone out there. Honestly, I didn't even come across any videos on YouTube other than one maybe 5-minute video with someone I couldn't understand talking their way through the Google News approval process. So I kind of had to figure it out on my own, which I did by buying some Google News websites off some other people, kind of reverse engineering what was working, and then just going through the process until I was able to kind of narrow it down and make it happen. First time I presented this to people was probably 4 or 5 years ago at an event that Stephen Kang ran in Vegas. And it really took off. Like I said, there really wasn't much out there at the time. People were doing it behind the scenes, but no one was really out there publishing any data about it. There was no articles, no YouTube videos, and now it's just prolific. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find tons and tons of videos about Google News approval. Everyone has a course. Everyone has Google News networks and everything else. But the way we've done it and the way we've always done it has been quite a bit different than everyone else has done in the past. If you're not aware, there was a Google News wipe probably in April of this year where they cleared out tons and tons and tons of spam content, tons and tons of spam networks. I know people who literally lost thousands of Google News websites overnight. The way we do it, I've never lost a single site at all from Google News. I build them in a certain manner. I go through a step-by-step process, and I layer other strategies on top of that to really make these, like I said, Swiss Army knives of websites that we can use for anything. And that's kind of what led to this Authority Amplifier framework. And it works really, really well. Some of the techniques I taught at that Stephen Kang event, even back in the day, people took it, ran with it. And I know people have personally made tens of millions of dollars using little things that they picked up to me. They put their own spin on it, scaled it to the max, and literally walked away with 8-figure payouts, 8-figure exit strategies on their own Google News networks. I know other people who are making 5 figures a month, doing nothing really other than posting articles here and there. So if you do it properly, there's money in it. You can, like I said, you can make big exit money strategy if you're doing it the right way and building out a proper network. And that's kind of what this Authority Amplifier is all about. A repeatable framework you can use for just about anything you want to do. Any type of site that you want to build out, you can do this. There's strategies to do that. So we can use this bits and pieces of the strategy. It's not really a blueprint. Like I said, there's a framework that you can stack like Legos. Pick and choose the strategies that will work for your particular scenario, and just keep working them. So it can be your agency website you're doing this for. It can be your client website you're doing this for. It can be building out a real news network, a Google News approved network that you want to do. It can be building out niche authority sites, affiliate websites, guest posting websites, traditional PBN network. Whatever you want to do, we actually have a bits and pieces that you can pull for just any particular scenario that you want. You can do AdSense review sites, display ad networks, any method that you want to do. You're going to stack these modules and strategies to really suit any particular purpose. But what makes it work across the board for any of this stuff is really the focus on Google's favorite acronym, which is EAT: expertise, experience, authority, and trust. What we focus on initially right out of the gate is the last half of the equation, the A and the T, the authority and trust. So we want to stack trust signals from day one, which is how we structure our websites. Like I said, I go through a step-by-step process to really hit on all the trust factors that Google's looking at to make sure we hit a home run right out of the gate. And then we layer in the authority on top of that, really more topical authority than anything else. So whatever niche we're going after, we can layer in topical authority with what I call catalyst content. And this catalyst content are certain types of content strategies that I've used and I've developed myself over the years that really engender trust in Google, that really engender topical authority right out of the gate. And on top of that, what they also do is they give you brand name traffic, Google search traffic from day one. You're going to get social referral traffic from day one. You're going to get free backlinks coming in from people all over the industry and from day one. You're going to get people sharing your content, providing social shares and social signals from day one. You're going to get other people putting out press releases about you from day one, just by implementing these different content strategies that we have. And we have about 4 or 5 different ones that work really well that we stack on top of each other. If you're hitting all the high points, giving Google all the trust factors it needs by building the site properly, structuring it the right way, making sure Google can crawl everything, they're seeing all the signals that they want to see, and then you're layering this content on top of it, it's pretty much a home run right out of the gate. We teach you how to do keyword research to find the high search volume, low competition keywords to build out your topical map from day one, to really saturate a niche with content that makes sense. Then you layer in that Catalyst content on top of that to start generating immediate traffic, immediate traction right out of the gate. And you can see things happen really, really quickly using a framework like this. One of the other things we do is we really want to satisfy the requirements of what everyone talks about nowadays, which is with entities. So we use a strategy that basically develops an internal knowledge graph for ourselves that allows us to really hit upon and saturate the entire topical authority cloud for every single keyword we want, every single entity we want. We use about 3 or 4 different techniques, 3 or 4 different types of pages. I actually have a specific plugin with a shortcode I use that really amplifies this in Google's eyes. They seem to love it for entities that I teach in the course. And I just stack these techniques over and over again just to make sure that we're hitting all the high points that Google wants. And like I said, we're generating a revenue generating powerhouse. You can actually scale these very, very quickly to get to the point where you can flip these for 6 or 7 figures. If you're making 5 figures per month on a site, display ad income or Amazon income, you can flip that for 6 figures, very, very quickly on all the flipping sites out there. So who's the course for? That's really designed for anyone who wants to generate or create revenue generating websites for themselves, for their clients. I teach a ton of monetization strategies in here. Not only do we stack trust signals, content strategies, we also stack monetization strategies as well. So like I said, these really are kind of Swiss Army knife type websites that we want to give you every single option available to you to make money, to get traffic, and to give Google everything that it wants. So we have a kind of a handful of authority multipliers that we use to really beef these sites up right out of the gate. So we have the blueprint, which is our framework for building out the Authority Amplifier websites. Again, engendering trust right out of the gate. We do have that content, Catalyst content, which is our secret sauce that Google really loves, including I teach you how to super easily create 100% unique data studies. That's one of the things I'm actually going to show you a kind of a watered down version of now, but give you a taste of at least one of the content strategies, how we can do it very easily and get people, coming to our website from day one. Different monetization strategies. We do work with directory listings as well, where we can scrape directory listing and create directories on our own website, which helps us bring people in right out of the gate. If you want to generate guest posts, I'll show you an easy way to do that. You want to sell guest posts. One of the sites I used to initially generate, to explain this topic at the first conference I spoke at, I still get 20, 30, 40, 50 guest posts on a daily basis sometimes, not to mention on a weekly basis. And I haven't touched this site in years at this point. This is one that I'm using really just for testing purposes at this point, but it was the first one that I put out there right out of the gate. So I'll go through that, how we generate guest posts immediately, how we leverage those directory listings for instant traffic monetization. And we have a little twist we use to generate expert content using the directory data that we have in there as well. We go through step-by-step Google News approval, and then we teach you how to leverage expert contributors for free, where they're going to give you free backlinks, free social signals, press mentions, and everything else. And that's all part of the Catalyst content strategies that are in here. It's a 20-module course. First one just introduces me, gives my background. We walk through the entire blueprint, what the framework is, what your different options are, how we do it, what it encompasses, that internal knowledge graph presentation, where we're really satisfying that topical authority requirement for Google from day one, on both the keyword level and the entity level, by building in types of pages and types of content that really make sense behind the scenes for Google to make sure that we're covering that entire topical entity cloud. I'll actually show you another technique here as well, too. One of the off-page techniques we use that everyone should be doing. We have all the Catalyst content types and the AI prompts that we use to generate those Catalyst content. We teach you how to build out author personas to really satisfy those EAT requirements. These can be real authors, they can be fake authors, whatever makes sense for your particular website, your particular niche, we can help you build out a persona for that. that Google loves. They're going to eat it up. We go through the entire Google News approval required policy templates. Modules 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all about a little further dive into some of the different Catalyst content strategies that we can stack on top of them. And then we go into the different types of sites. We can set up the individual sites the way you can really kind of build out any type of site you want, whether it's a niche site setup, a topical authority site where you're going to generate a huge site. Maybe you want to use that for display ads or something like that. A branded news network setup, which is pretty interesting. This is kind of what I specialize in. I have a copy and paste framework where I can use to build out a branded news network. For example, I want to build out a network of 50 different sites with one Google News site for every state out there. And it's literally just copying and pasting one site over and over and over again, and they will get approved no problem. And then I have an entire network of 50 sites that work together holistically to help me pump out news. I can use them for my own private press release network. We can sell guest posts, whatever we need it for. Traditional PBN network setup, guest post network setup and monetization. We want to monetize display ad networks. You can really make big money doing this with that high search volume, low competition keyword research. You're pumping out a ton of content. You can make a lot of money doing that. Traditional affiliate site setups, whether it's Amazon or any other information products or anything else you want to sell on there. We do leverage pay-per-call setups as well, where we can generate pay-per-call leads for people. And then we have two final modules, which are really kind of aimed more towards people who are in agencies. And these are lead gen methods for your agency or for your client, where you can leverage these properties in a specific manner to generate instant niche authority. And you can leverage the power of referrals from these websites to generate leads for yourself or for your clients. Well, one of the other things we do with these to help generate those leads is we can build satellite websites for our clients. We can build satellite websites for ourselves that help generate these leads. And I give you some specific methods in here that are not necessarily digital in nature. Some of them are, I even have lumpy mail techniques where we're mailing out packages to people based on some of the things we're going to teach in here. So tons of different options that you can pick and choose from that make any sense for anyone out there. Anyone that has a website is looking to generate money with it, is kind of stuck, can't get past, a certain point in Google. There's always bits and pieces you can choose from in here. I'll walk through a couple of them with you, unless Joe has any questions now.
Yeah, I'm curious, Brian. Like I've taken a look at the course. It's great so far, and I've seen some reviews already. Some people are like, "Wow, this is already better than I expected." People with so many courses out there, you don't know which ones to buy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But for say you have some beginners, and they're not SEOs per se, or like business owners, like you mentioned, will you be able to help them or in the the private Facebook group maybe, or make other video add-ons in the future that could kind of simplify it for them? Or is this not for the beginner, in this case?
So I wouldn't say it's for the bare bones beginner who doesn't know anything about managing a website or anything like that. But it is beginner level in that, like I said, we do have that Facebook group. So
Yeah.
it's more than just a course where we have a videos and a couple of PDF handouts and that's it. You're actually getting access to me and to other guest speakers and experts in this group. I mean, we have some heavy hitters in this group already.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that group, I think
Like
that
that.
group, a lot of people don't know about. That's a huge added bonus. It's basically a mastermind group, in itself. And
Yeah,
then people who pay, other in the course. So that's a great add-on.
exactly. So it is basically a mastermind group you're getting lifetime access to. Plus, you're getting access to the method itself, the entire course that is constantly updated based on Google changes and different strategies I'm testing. And on top of that, for the beginners, this is going to be very helpful. What I'm doing is I'm actually being super transparent with my own projects. I've cherry picked about 3 or 4 different products, projects that I'm starting from scratch or that I've gotten to a certain point already that I'm going to be demonstrating and sharing with people completely transparently, completely candidly from day one. I'm going to be doing over-the-shoulder walkthroughs on how I structure these sites, how I build them out, how I implement these different strategies, how I use the different tools that I recommend to implement the strategies. Whether they're I try to stick with things that are either like an LTD or freebie type versions when I'm using tools and things like that. I don't want to go towards the bigger high end tools where people are spending a ton of money to make this work. I give them options where they can do that. So with the beginner, that part's going to be helpful.
That's great with the LTDs because, in this community and all the other Facebook groups, everyone's trying to avoid the big boy tools and use the LTDs that are available. So if you can always do alternative, tool methods, that's excellent.
And that's exactly what we want to do. I want to make this affordable for people where they can go out there and they're not spending thousands of dollars a month just on tools to do the research alone. That just doesn't make sense that way. I mean, if you had the money to invest in it, that's one thing, but a lot of people don't. They're scratching, a couple of dimes together to make things happen, and they want to hit it big. They want to make some money in the industry, and I want to give them every option available to them at that lower cost for entry, that lower barrier to entry. So things like free tools, the one-time LTDs and things like that. There's always going to be options that you can pick and choose from here that I'm going to walk you guys through and show you how to take advantage of those without having to lay out those big bucks. And again, it's an over-the-shoulder walkthrough. So in that case, it's going to be helpful for, maybe not like I said, not the very beginners who have no knowledge whatsoever, but someone who has, dip their toes into the market at least for a little bit. Maybe they've taken some beginner SEO courses or something like that. They played around with affiliate marketing. They've gone through a couple of the things. They watched all the videos on YouTube and they follow Diggity on Twitter and Instagram and everything else. Those guys we can definitely work with. Like I said, you get access to that group. There's other experts in there as well too. And I'm in there constantly answering your questions. We have a live chat that's going on that people can always throw questions at me. My DMs are always open. I wake up first thing in the morning before I even get my coffee, and I'm answering questions to people sometimes. But
it's mostly questions from me. I mean, in Slack, But maybe I'll ask you questions in the mastermind group now.
So I'm going to start texting you when I had my coffee already, so you can stop doing it. But so I think it is beginner friendly, at least if you have a little bit of a little bit of experience in going through website builds and things like that. As a matter of fact, one of the larger PR agency owners out there actually bought this course last night for his son, who's a teenager. And he is going to be using this to, really educate himself. So, and his father reached out to me and said, "Hey, look, I want to promote this for you for kids in the 12 to 18-year-old range, so they can get their feet wet, kind of build that entrepreneurship right out of the gate, and learn to make some money on their own, learn the skills that they can use to build a small business, to build their own websites and things like that." So I think it's beginner friendly. I'm there to help people. We have a great community of people in there as well. That's super helpful. I've known a lot of these people for years, so I think everyone is going to find something to take away from here, even if it's one simple strategy that makes you or your client a lot of money. It's going to be more than worth it. It's a lifetime deal for now. Eventually, the price is going to double sooner rather than later. I left the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale pricing up for now. But eventually there's going to be monthly fees and things like that. So I just wanted to make it a one-time price point for now so everyone can get in kind of on a lifetime deal. They get all the course updates. They get access to, like you said, the Facebook group, which is like a mastermind in and of itself. We're going to be doing live walkthroughs there. I'm going to be candidly sharing all my projects, including access to real-time analytics to earnings as I build them up over weeks and months. I want to take these projects from ground zero to making $1,000 a month, $10,000 per month, and scale it up from there live in front of these people and show them how it's done step by step. Like I said, over the shoulder, not only by posting videos of how I do it, but walking everyone through and literally doing it in front of them. I'd rather not be one of those people, one of those course one of those instructors who are, relying on what they've done in the past, saying, "Hey, look, I made in 4 years ago, I made all this money on a website. I'd rather do it live in front of you guys and show you guys that way." The proof is kind of in the pudding. You want to make sure that the techniques are working today. You're resting on your laurels and relying on, successes you've had years ago, which may not even be applicable anymore. So that was kind of my goal behind this, building that mastermind out and really being there, being present, and being candid with these people, being as transparent as I can, and walking through about 3 or 4 different types of projects that I'm going to be building out live in front of these people. First one starting this week, and then we'll just have to keep them rolling along. So people will be able to follow along with me step by step with that. And I did have a couple nuggets I kind of want to share from the course. And, I'll be truthful that they're a little watered down. I don't give away all the goodies here, but there's a couple things I'm going to talk about that really make sense. Kind of give you a glimpse into maybe how we generate some of the topical authority, how we generate some of that catalyst content, and really get some traction right out of the gate. Kind of give Google what it really, really wants. So I'm going to take a peek at Free Press Directory. So again, this was kind of the first site I've ever used to kind of walk through the techniques that I use with people at the first conference I spoke at about this. And it's still up and running. It's still approved in Google News. If I could type it right, we could kind of see that it's still in there all these years later. So it's still in here as a source. I mean, I think I still have articles indexed in here from 2018, 2019, and things like that. So 2022, 2020, 2019. Yeah, so I mean, if you do these the right way, they don't die. I mean, they stay in Google. And this is slightly different. This is what's considered one of the older Google News approved sites, where it went through a manual review right around the time of when COVID hit and everything was shut down. They kind of switched over to an automated review process where people were just pushing through tons and tons of crap and spam sites and things like that, which eventually are starting to get weeded out. They went through that big purge back in April. But these older sites that were in there when they were manually reviewed are really, really powerful. Instant indexing. And that was kind of what I wanted from day one, was kind of take advantage of the indexing in Google News. There were times when I was actually using this as a sales technique. I'd be on a sales call with a potential client, have an article queued up about them that I'd done my research on them, put out a sample press release about something they've done recently, and in the midst of the call, I'd press publish on that particular post, and within a matter of minutes, I was able to show them a live article about them and their business, and a little success story about them, which was exciting to them. This is just a glimpse at what we're able to do for you. Or what if we're able to build out a network of these sites for you, or a satellite website about niche relevant news that we can use to feed leads back to you. So it's really a big help in a sales process, just based on that alone, just on the indexing. It's a little different nowadays. Not everything feeds into Google News, but you do get the indexing out of it as well. It does help, and it's literally just a trust signal. I mean, there are points where it's still manually approved by Google. When I'm submitting these sites to Google, there is someone that looks at it. I do get feedback from people sometimes. I used to get a lot of feedback several years ago. That still kind of bears weight when I build out these websites. For example, one of the things that one of the Google reps had sent back to me at one point, I had been playing around with doing spun content using plugins like WP Automatic, just to pull in RSS feeds, translate it from whatever language it was into a second language, and then translate it back to the original language. So it kind of spun it a little bit. Trying to get those sites approved, they came back to me and told me, hey, we have a threshold of at least 51% unique content. If it meets that threshold, we'll approve it. If it doesn't meet that threshold, you're going to have to clean things up and resubmit it. So I've gotten tons and tons of tips from these Google reps over the years. Even recently, I've been getting feedback from some of these guys, just because I submit so many sites, that I really have this down to a science. Like I said, I've never lost a Google News website. I've never had one de-indexed, never had one removed from Google News. I can log into any one of them and they're still active without any problems whatsoever. Whereas I know people who, like I said, literally lost thousands and thousands of websites in one fell swoop. So if you do it the right way, it's going to help. This particular website, I just want to show you a little trick. I had mentioned to you how we kind of can leverage these for guest posts, how on a site like this, I can get 20, 30, 40 requests in a particular day sometimes for people who want to buy a guest post on my website. And the way I do that without building any backlinks, without doing anything, I'll show you a simple trick in the HTML sitemap with all the different pages that I built out. And one of the techniques that you can use to really start generating traffic back to your website immediately. I'm actually creating content based around people who want to reach out to us for guest posts. For just every single niche you can think of, whoever wants to post on here, they're going to find something. For example, wedding planners. And if I go to this page, it's got all the keywords that make sense for right for us. Guest post accepted, guest post opportunities, blog, planners blog. But the thing that really makes this work, that really makes this hum, is I dropped in a table of all the search operators that someone searching for guest posts might be able to use. So Google's crawling all this, seeing this stuff in here, and chances are, if someone is going to research one of these, they're going to find this particular website towards the top of the heap just by including that table in there. Yep, so there it is. It's number one overall just for that particular search operator. So this is an easy way to generate money. If you want to be, you want to be like a Fiverr seller, you want to sell posts for $5-10, make some money. I mean, I know people making, 5 figures per month just selling guest posts on their website, building out a network of Google approved sites, and literally just doing this and making money selling guest posts. So that's an easy win for people. Just building out all the niche relevant right first pages that hit on all the keywords that people would type in for guest post opportunities, and just dropping in a table of all the different search operators you can think of that someone might use to reach out for niche relevant guest posts. You get that indexed and it's a home run. Like I said, you can get tons and tons and tons of requests on your website. You make it look nice. You have content on there. You have a clean theme. It looks well, and people are going to reach out to you to post, guest posts for themselves, to generate links for themselves, for their clients, and everything else. One of the byproducts of this is I actually get tons and tons of agencies reaching out to me on my networks looking for guest posts for their clients. So I get to do a little spying on some of the competition as well, see who their clients are, see what their backlinking strategies and everything else are. I also get requests from CMOs and directors of marketing from these bigger companies, these bigger websites as well too, reaching out to me for this type of stuff as well. So you can generate contacts that way too. Then you can tell them, hey, look, I have a network of sites. Would you like to buy articles for this or that? Then you can kind of talk them into eventually, different types of services, SEO related services, web design services, whatever it may be. But there's tons of ways that you can just leverage something as simple as this.
What if your competitors sign up for the course and join your group? What are you going
Yeah,
to do then?
exactly.
Just teach them? Do you want to
Then
teach
the
them
gig, then the gig
everything?
is up.
You going to teach them everything?
Then the gig is up.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, yeah. Well, I'm an open book. I'll teach them as long as they pay me. I'll teach them. But this is just one of the things that we use. One of the things we teach in here. And this is like I said, this is easy to implement, and you can literally use this to make an income. You can use this to make a decent income by building out a simple network of sites with just all these type of articles on here. You can niche it out. You can do like I did and just build a general news site, which kind of hits on everything. This was kind of my way of creating something I could use for anyone and anything and everyone, not having niche specific PBNs for our clients, or having kind of a bigger, broader network where the different categories were siloed. So if I had someone, accountant that fell, I could throw them in the finance category, a doctor in the health category, a lawyer in the legal category, whatever it may be. So I could kind of use these for all my clients, not just if this was a law blog, I could only use it for my, my lawyers or maybe accountants, how, depending on however I spun the content. But um, I like to kind of broaden my scope and use these for anything and everything. And then at one point, we were doing playing around with, affiliate marketing, running ads on here. We were just testing things on here and things like that. And like I said, I was getting tons of requests for guest posts, making a little money in AdSense and everything. And just testing and testing and testing until I was able to kind of pull things that worked and put it into that cohesive strategy that goes into the course now. And then
And what about the course will go over some AI content, using AI content, or you can have a copywriter, I guess, but is a lot of the copy out there now mostly AI and spun content?
yeah, so that was one of the things that was kind of a bottleneck back in the day when we first started this. That was one of the drawbacks to traditional PPNs, was actually the content creation. It obviously wasn't AI driven like it is now with the AI revolution that's here now. With you got tons and tons of things like Content Sprout or Zimwriter, or tons of tools that you can leverage, over and above ChatGPT and OpenAI and Claude and those things. There's tons of great tools out there that can do all this for you, that can create that topical content map
You'd have to
and
spend a
create
lot
everything
more
that
money
you
on
want.
copywriters back then until Quillbot came along, and then it made spinning easier, but not like where we are today.
So what we were doing back then is kind of piecing together like PLR content, like just getting that and kind of copying and pasting that stuff together and kind of Frankensteining some things together, and then kind of rewriting it as best as we could, just paraphrasing it, using our own minds, or like I said, paying someone to do that, having a writer do that.
And a lot of problems now people are having is using the AI content or spun content, getting the PBN, the network sites up there, and then it's doing great, but then it just hits a wall, it drops. I
Yep.
mean, will your group in the course kind of help with that, where people can have like their own case studies and say, "Hey, I hit this. Any ideas, guys?" Stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we love people to kind of give us those problems. And that's kind of what we're all about. We want to be problem solvers for these people. I mean, that's my strength more so than anything else. I'm not a developer. I'm not a designer. I consider myself a problem solver. Basically, all I'm trying to do is build a better mousetrap. My strategies aren't necessarily unique. Some of the things I've kind of, I guess, I don't want to say pioneered, but I guess I have. Some of the
Well, you kind
strategies
of,
are
yeah. I
mine.
always tell people, I'm like, wait, Brian. I think Brian talked about that, and I
Yeah.
see a lot of the things that people have implemented in the last few years. That I've known you for I don't even know how long, over like a decade now, and I remember you
I was
talking
talking
about
about
it.
back then. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember you saying like, and I'm like, when are you going to do a course? I know, Bradley, a couple of the other guys were saying, come on, Brian, you got to do a course, you got to do something, and you're finally doing it. So I'm so excited, that I mean, we kind of pushed you years back, but you finally decided, yep, it's time.
Yeah, there was a big push for me to put this course out probably about 4 years ago after Stephen King's event.
Yeah.
Bradley was really on top of that for me, and finally did it. Finally got it out there. But going back to your question about the AI content, that's exactly what I'm going to kind of talk about now, kind of the way we do it. But some of the things we do in here are really, really going to help with that. So you're not hitting that bottleneck. You're not hitting those plateaus. You're going to hit a plateau naturally at some point. It's not a straight up or straight down. Obviously you have those ups and downs a little bit, in any type of rankings, but there are ways to even that out by giving Google what they want and kind of filling in the blanks what they're looking for. And that's where that Authority Amplifier blueprint really comes in. We're basically hitting on all the trust signals. We're stacking strategies and trust signals right out of the gate and making it as hard as possible for Google to ignore us. Even if it's AI generated content, the way we're doing it, like I said, we're building um, the internal knowledge graph presentation right out of the gate. We're showing people how to do internal link properly. I'll actually run through another off-page strategy that's a big help as well. It kind of really goes hand in hand with the proper schema on the website and kind of mimicking that on a third-party website to really kind of bang it into Google's head that this is what we're all about, this is what we do, and really creating a roadmap to Google both on the site and off the site so they know what we're all about. We've hit all the relevant trust signals. And then we're using this catalyst content, like I said, to generate branded searches, to generate search signals, to generate real traffic coming into the website. So it's not junk traffic. It's people coming in here specifically typing in keywords, specifically looking for the brand, really sending social signals. We're getting social referral traffic from day one. So it all works together holistically to kind of get over that hump. So where you don't have to worry about hitting that wall with, hey, I just published all this AI content. It went through the roof. The rankings are great. And then 3 weeks later, a month later, 3 months later, whatever it may be, things start to kind of reverse course and you're kind of losing steam. We don't see that as much as we're laying in these other strategies and just building upon it. So your stacking methods, they work together holistically, and it does help you get over that hump for sure, especially with the AI content. So one of the things we're doing to leverage one of the types of catalyst content we're using is we are doing unique data studies. So my thought was always, especially in this world of just mass-produced AI content, like I said, everyone can create it. There's so many tools out there. People can create their topic maps and generate 1,000 blog article titles at the push of a button, and just start generating outlines for all those different blog articles that are all siloed together properly, and generating the content for them, and just setting up a publishing schedule and getting all that content out there. Anyone can do that nowadays. But what you really want to do is have unique content. And my thought always was, hey, I want to have content that's going to be above and beyond anything that someone can generate with AI, even though I am using AI to really help me generate this stuff. But it's done in a different manner than most people are doing. And I'll kind of walk you through one of the watered down versions of the strategies that we teach within the course. And it's really using these unique data studies. So we're basically creating polls or surveys to gather data from people for free, and using AI to extrapolate key takeaways, key points, bullet points that we can use to create an article outline, create an article, publish it, and then you can use that to pitch it to journalists and really kind of gain traction right out of the gate. And there's a couple sites that I use for brainstorming that I'll go through. So one of them, for example, here is factcheck.org. And these are kind of really trending stories that have to do with data, that are based on survey results and things like that. So you can come on here and go through the different, the different trending stories, and kind of use these to brainstorm things that you want to talk about. And I'll show you one way that I do that specifically. Here's another site I use, the Gallup. We've all heard of the Gallup polls, during all the political races and everything else, right around, when it's time for everyone to vote for their favorite politicians, you always hear about Gallup polls. So this is kind of their news roundup. And I like to go through their news roundup and go through their different opinions and things like that, kind of really see. And they do have articles that are really based on data, that are really based on studies. When you go into the news section, so news.gallup.com. So here's an example of one from today, actually, where it's talking about student data leads Black and Hispanic parents to action. So basically, and they're talking about the different, they're giving you feedback and statistics on the studies that they ran, backing up their points and everything else. So literally all I'm doing is taking the article itself, the URL of the article, and I'm just telling them, hey, please review the following article. Let me know when you're ready for the next steps. Do not create an overview of the article. So if you've used ChatGPT or any other thing, if you feed them a URL, they're going to pretty much generate an overview. Hey, these are the key takeaways from the article that you just made me read. I don't care about that as of yet. Basically, I just want them to let me know that they've ran through the article, they're ready to go. And then I'm going to ask them, hey, what conclusions can be drawn from the data within the article? And it's going to tell me the key conclusions drawn from the article are, hey, the importance of grades and perception gaps, parental response to underperformance, standardized testing and racial bias, need for comprehensive data, action and response to information. Then I'm going to tell them, hey, based on those conclusions you just gave me, let's generate a list of 10 suggested blog article titles that further explore those topics and that would resonate with the same exact target audience. So now I'm using ChatGPT to brainstorm for similar article titles that I can use based on the takeaways from the article that I just fed to it. And it's going to generate me 10 different blog articles. So here's one that I kind of I ran with, bridging the perception gap, understanding the true academic performance of minority students. So now I'm going to say for blog article title option number 1, please create a list of 12 survey questions that we can use to gather unique points to frame our article. For each survey question, please provide both the question and several multiple choice options. So I'm basically telling ChatGPT, hey, create me a survey that I can use to build out this article, to gather data to support this article. And it's going to spit out articles and multiple choice questions. And now what I'm doing is I have a survey that I can present to people. They can take it. I can gather that data. Once this data is compiled, I have the survey results. I can feed it right back in a chat GPT and say, hey, here's the results of the survey that 100 people just took or 500 people just took. What conclusions can we draw from the survey? It'll spit back a list of conclusions just like it did with the article up here. And then I'm going to tell it, hey, based on those conclusions that you were able to draw from the data, give me an outline of an article that would encompass all that data and all the different talking points around that. And then I'll have an article outline that I can use to create a fantastic article with unique data that I've really gathered from a real survey already. And it's a completely unique data study that I've done using ChatGPT just to do nothing. So what I'm doing, this kind of next step, the intermediate step that I haven't discussed yet, is taking this data, maybe putting into a Google Doc, creating a form, and going into Reddit, going into Facebook groups, niche relevant Facebook groups, making contact with the bigwigs in these different groups and saying, hey, look, I'm running a poll for an article. Can I publish this in here in your group? So, for example, there is one. It's called Sample Size, a subreddit where it's literally just people taking polls in here. Everyone's posting their polls, but I think it's got like 213,000 different members in it. So if you post your poll in here, you're going to get a big response. You're going to get data coming back in based on the poll that you put in there. So you're just posting an overview of your article. You make sure you're following all the rules in here. Read all the rules in every subreddit you go to, or every Facebook you go to. Play by the rules with these people. They're very serious about this stuff. Post a link to your survey, whether it's a Google Doc or whatever tool you're using to gather the data. And within a matter of hours, days, whatever it may be, however long it takes to come, however long you're going to let it run, you're going to get tons and tons of responses. Take that data back, feed it back in a chat GPT, whatever tool you're using, have it extrapolate some talking points from that, use those talking points to create a topical outline of an article that's going to make a lot of sense, and then build out that article the right way. You have all the data there. You have the charts, the complete survey results are ready to back it up. You get that article on your website, on your client website, then you can go pitch it to different journalists, using different methods and things like that, which we teach you how to do. There are the websites that we use that I talk through in the course about to really brainstorm things. One in particular that I really love that I've just put a video out about that I use to kind of brainstorm these type of survey responses and things like that. And then I also have specific tools that I mentioned that are really, really cheap that do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. We'll even create the graphics and the charts and everything that you can copy and paste right into your finished article. I have another couple techniques that we use that will leverage immediate social referral traffic based on these things right out of the gate. You're getting tons and tons and tons of social traffic from day one, right out of the gate as soon as you launch your website and start running these polls. And again, we teach you how to reach out to the journalists, the different methods that you can use to really get some traction with these. You have a fantastic article, a unique article with unique data points in any single niche you can think of. I mean, you can do this. You can literally build an entire website just based on this method alone. Just data study after data study after data study based on a specific niche, whether it's healthcare or something like that. You could put out a simple blog website with some filler content about healthcare, and then just go after data study, data study, data study based on around that one particular niche. Pitch it to all different journalists, start getting a ton of traction, and you can literally build a site just from this one strategy alone. And again, this is the watered down version of the strategy. I mean, there's tons of
Still,
things
it's a
to layer
good
on top of
nugget.
this.
It's a
Yeah,
good nugget.
there's tons of things that we layer on top of this that make this even more powerful. Like I said, that just Google really, really loves, and really, really works well together. So there's a couple methods right out of the gate that we teach within the course. You can literally build a site that generates your guest post money from day one, a network of sites where you can be selling these guest posts for $10, $20, $25, $50, depending on how powerful your site is, $100 even. I've gotten for different guest posting opportunities. You can build a website just on unique data studies using ChatGPT and just brainstorming on some of these news sites and things like that. It doesn't have to be the news sites that I recommend. You can go to any news site, see what the trending topics are, feed that URL into ChatGPT, asking it to draw some conclusions. Again, generating the survey questions and answers for you, running that survey question, getting the data back, creating an article outline, creating the article, and then you're off and running. So again, a couple of watered down versions, but that's just the dipping our toe into the water of what's actually available in the
No,
course.
good stuff. We have a
Um,
question from Lo. I don't know if you want to take a question.
yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, from Lo. So I have three friends with different interests, no marketing or SEO skills whatsoever. How beginner friendly is this course? Their interests, esports, female musicians, dating nerds.
So if
Or
they
nerd, sorry, he said or nerd dating. I don't know.
have,
Whichever keyword, whichever way you want to go.
so they're all nerds, huh?
Nerds.
So it can be beginner. Like I said, I was honest before in saying that I don't think it's for someone who has zero experience whatsoever in this realm. If they've done some SEO courses before, if they've watched Diggity's video on YouTube or things like that, if they've done a little bit of homework and have a little bit of background in it, then they're going to do much better.
What
Uh,
about we have a bunch in the group that they're not SEO wise, but they know how to build a website or they know, Elementor and Divi and all that stuff.
that's a
Will
home run for them.
then
Then,
then it'll help, right? If they know how to
oh
like
yeah, it's a
handle
home
the
run
web
then.
part of it, that this could be a nice transition to SEO.
So we let them leverage those skills to make money on the SEO end of things, to make money with these authority sites. Like I said, with display ad networks, with Amazon affiliate sites, and things like that. We give them all the strategies, the content strategies, the promotion strategies, everything they need to really monetize these sites. If they know how to build them, it's a home run for them. We're just taking their skills in a different direction and giving them a blueprint to really do it. For bare bones beginners, um, it, they, yeah, I'm not here to kind of walk people through how to install WordPress on their server and things like that, and troubleshoot problems that they're having with their themes and stuff. We can make suggestions, of course, and things like that. But if they have a little bit of background, they're probably better suited for something like this. But anyone that's done anything in the world of marketing or web design or anything like that, they're very tech oriented. I think this is a home run. There's something they're going to be able to take out of it. They can use this as a secondary income, a way to build a little side hustle, and it can become a lot more than a side hustle. Like I said, there's big money in here. Joe, personally, people have made tens of millions of dollars just using some of the strategies that I've taught here. They've made
Yeah,
big exit money.
yeah, it's been frustrating through the years working with you, being friends with you, and like, hearing all these stories and seeing all these people who are also great people, by the way, and they're geniuses in their own right mind. But basically, learning from you, they give you credit for learning it from you and making so much money. So that's why when you're doing this course, I mean, there are a lot of courses out there, but I'm not just saying this because I'm your friend. I know you've taught other people that have made money on it. So it works
Yep, and
if you
there's
put the
people
time
that make.
in.
Yep. So there are people that are making money that are in the group right now. That are in the mastermind group, in the Facebook private group. Um,
And you're gonna bring them possibly on for some. Are they gonna do any videos as well, or?
Yeah, so we'll be doing some guest posts. We'll be doing some lives in there and things like that. Some guest appearances and
Oh,
everything for
nice.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
so I want it to be a true mastermind for people. It's not that just they're coming in here, logging in and watching videos, and I have some PDFs and checklists and my suggested WordPress plugins and everything else, and
Yeah.
ongoing posts and answering questions within the group itself. But there are going to be people coming in doing guest appearances and
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Because everybody has their
sharing their
favorite
war
tool
stories.
method, and then you could kind of mesh together. Some people might say, oh, yeah, I like what this guy said too. Maybe I'll try that as well. And it's
Yeah,
scale it out. Yeah.
yeah, and people are willing to share in there too. I encourage people to call me out if there's a better way to do it. Like I said, I'm all about building a better mousetrap. So if they know a better way to do it than what I'm teaching them, I love for them to speak up and share that with the group, and that's
Very
something we
cool.
can all incorporate and learn from.
Cool. Very cool.
But that's kind of the nitty gritty, the overview of everything that's going on.
So how much longer is the price going to continue? I know it was supposed to end today, yesterday. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it's supposed to end last night. I left it up today because we were originally going to do this last night, but we pushed it
Yeah.
off for today. So I'll leave it up through tomorrow, for midnight
Tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Okay. Midnight
and
tomorrow, and then it'll just go back up to the obviously normal price.
yep, exactly. So it's $500 now. It's $1,000 total. It is a lifetime membership. Eventually, it's going to be going to a monthly membership cost for access to the mastermind, the constantly updated course materials, and everything else. But
And I
from
noticed the
what
videos,
you're getting access to,
the
go ahead.
the, vid, the videos are on your Facebook in your Facebook group embedded. Will there be a way to download videos or no because of privacy, people sharing the videos, etc. You don't want that.
Yeah, I'd rather not want that. I mean, eventually we might transition away from just the private Facebook group and have it set up on a different platform completely. I just wanted to get this up and ready
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Black
yeah.
Friday.
Or you could always
Um,
keep the group, up forever. That's it, private, and then the
that's what we're
videos
going to
will
do.
always be there. They're always going to be there. So yeah,
Exactly.
unless Zuckerberg sells to Elon, and then it'll be on X or whatever the hell it'll be called by then.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what name I'll come up with.
All right, cool. Well, this is fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So, well, thanks for doing this live, and excited to see what happens, and maybe we'll do some more of these in the future, just to talk SEO and pop culture, whatever.
And then we'll come back in a little bit and talk about the ongoing projects that I'm kind of, like I said, being transparent about in a group and see where we are analytics wise, earnings wise, and things like
Yeah,
that.
if you
What's
want
got
to, if
going
you
up.
want to do these, we could do these videos in the group as well. In the private group, just to see what's going on that with there. So yeah,
No doubt.
excellent. All right, thanks, Brian.
Thanks for
Thanks
your
everyone
time,
for
everyone.
joining, and ask questions in the comments. I guess this replay will be up for a while, so you can ask Brian questions here, or reach out to him. He says his DMs are always open.
You got it. Just make sure I have
Thank
my coffee in the morning, unlike Joe. Joe jumps the gun a little
I'll slack you. Don't worry.
bit.
All right, bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye bye.